Hello, people. How's it going? Welcome to the stream. Welcome. And it has happened. It has happened. As of yesterday, Arsenal are second in the league, second again, ole, and Manchester City are on top of the table. Now, the big question, obviously, is will Arsenal reclaim the top? Or will Man City pull away? Let's be real, there's no other questions about it. Because based on the past experiences, since City has taken the lead, they're gonna take and run with it. Arsenal are gonna be left in behind in the dust, so to speak. So there's no other two ways about it. It looks like it could be the end. Obviously, after this weekend, once we play Newcastle, the picture is going to be 100% clear. We're going to see how that's going to go. But for now, yeah, Arsenal already are sitting second in the league. So, people, we're going to talk about all that. There are some interesting links. And to be honest, I don't want to talk about the links, but why not? Just why not? Because let's be real, enough talking about Arsenal's what ifs. Let's talk about some other what ifs. Let's just put it that way. Like the stream, people. Subscribe if you're new. Big up Hendon. Big up. Second again, ole. Here we go again. 4th season in a row. The history repeats itself. Oh, bloody hell, here we go again. Big up Mubarak. Big up. And big up Uganda as well. Big up all Arsenal fans were. Yeah, don't blame them. Absolutely don't blame them. The last copium from there it feels like 89 all over again. Most of whom weren't even alive. Exactly. That's the nuts part. It's like Hendrik saying, talking about Sir Bobby Charlton and everything. Like, it's absolutely nuts. Big up here. Big up. Hope you're doing well. Balling again. Big up Marlon. Yeah, it looks that way 100%. Big up LT Kings. What do you think about Nico Williams links? I hope they're not true. I genuinely hope they are not true, because personally for me, Nico Williams is overrated. He's somewhat inconsistent. He's more of a speed merchant, and he wants quite a bit of money as well. He would be another potentially overpaid player, which we don't need at this club anymore, let's be honest. And there are better options for that amount of money and even less salary available in the market, in my opinion. And I really hope Nico Williams is not coming to Arsenal. I'd much rather have Iñaki Williams, his brother, who is much older, to be honest. I don't rate Nico Williams as highly as maybe some people do. But personally, for me, watching from La Liga and everything, Nico Williams doesn't strike me as anything that unique that would elevate this team to such a high level. He would be one of those players that would be quite frustrating. It's again one of those situations where it would be very fantastic if he feels hot and he's on it. And again, he would be hella frustrating if he wasn't on it. And at this stage of Arsenal's season, and any stage of Arsenal's season, for Arsenal in general, consistency is the key. And with Nico Williams, it's very inconsistent. He lacks some finishing. He's a speed merchant and everything. I don't want Noni Madueke 2.0 type of stuff happening here. I don't want that, in my opinion. I just don't want that. Big up Hyper Protagonist. Big up. Hell no, Nico. Let's see. Marlon also thinks Nico Williams is not it. Fair enough. I was just asking. I get it. I know there are people who are that. Man, Devil Manchester. It's insane. It's all into the ground. I can't believe City only scored 1 goal versus Burnley, a level playing field, now giving us better chance than I thought we'd have. To a degree, yes. But looking at the game, City should have scored more, I would argue. And the Burnley lucky that they only lost 1-0. But a win is a win. As you say, I cannot believe City only scored 1 goal versus Burnley. You could put that to Arsenal's context of the whole season, saying I cannot believe Arsenal even scored 1 goal that game somehow by some miracle. So it kind of goes the both ways. Let's just put it that way. And we are second. Goal difference is the same. Points are the same. But based on the games we have played between us and City, they have beaten us. So it is what it is. Also, what do you think about Bernardo Silva links? It's quite odd, but we've seen it happen with Jesus and Zinchenko. Yes, we have. Bernardo Silva, I don't know. it just feels like Mikel Arteta wants some ex-guys into the team. Because Bernardo Silva, if I'm not mistaken, let me check, double check. He's 31 years old. He would demand a high salary. Would he be a star in this team? I'm not so sure. Would he be a right winger? Would he be a rotational player? I just don't see him in this team. I don't see him in this team. Only chance I can see him in this team is if Arteta stays. That is the only way I can see Bernardo Silva coming to Arsenal, because I don't see a usage for him if different type of manager comes into this team. Obviously, speaking of Arteta here or not here, it's certainly going to depend how this season is going to end in Champions League and Premier League. But I used to like Bernardo Silva, but at this stage, I think it's a bit too late. Again, as always, as Arsenal do these things, they buy players too late or they buy the wrong players. And this one is one of those, for me personally, at this current situation, the ship has sailed. Because he doesn't strike me as a leader in the team. He doesn't strike me as a player who actually could inspire the team to go to undiscovered heights. Let's just put it that way. And is he better than most players we have in the team? Yes, he is. There's no argument about that. But again, something similar like with Nico Williams for much less salary and the same money, if not even less, like we can get better deals. We definitely can get better deals. Big up Handler. Big up Handler. City actually took the first place, yeah. Not only they took the first place, but with the same amount of points on goal difference too, yeah. They defied and pissed in Arsenal, so I'd say, yeah, 100%. City always peak towards the end part of the season. They have done it before, and they're doing it once again. They have a slower start of the season, and then they pick up the form, and gradually they just become an unstoppable machine, right? And at this stage, it kind of feels the same. Yes, it's not the same city, it's not the same players, but it kind of feels the same. We are in the same boat once again. We are in the same situations once again, and it's history repeats itself, and it's very demoralizing that over these years, nobody has learned it, nobody has prepared for it, and Arsenal, who were in the most advantageous position to be ready, to maybe take advantage of that, or to utilize certain instances to their advantage, well, have fluffed them. Let's be real, because the loss to City at Etihad didn't lose us the league. The draws against Brentford, against Wolves, and all these games, the losses against Villa and all this stuff lost us the league, if we are looking from that perspective. So it's the same situation as the 23-24 season, when we, in the second part of the season, we, in 17 games, had 15 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss. That game against Villa, which we lost 2-0 at home, we didn't lose that. That didn't lost us the league. Going 1 win in 7 games in December lost us the league. Drawing against 10-man Fulham at home lost us the league. No, it all basically gathers together. And we've been saying this also for years on this channel and many other places, the fact that, oh, Arsenal lose a game here, Arsenal draw a game there, here or there. Oh, it's just a one-off, as the top gooners say. But if you look at cumulatively as a combination of things throughout the course of the whole season, it all adds up at the end of the day. And sooner rather than later, it is preparing to bite you in the ass. And unfortunately for Arsenal, we are in that position right now. We definitely are in that position. But yeah, City can win this. To be honest, City can win the league and Arsenal can win the league. But do I have trust in this team that they can go now 5 games unbeaten in hopes that Man City drop points? I can't. Because looking at Man City, looking how they go about things, looking how Arsenal's form and how they are going about things, I don't have that much trust and faith that Arsenal are not going to drop points as well. Let's just put it that way. I don't have that much trust into this team. So, unfortunately, we might be looking at another second place, another ball job in the hands of super duper Mick Arteta. Give me a sec. I need to try and fix something because it's really bothering me at the moment. High tech solutions for high tech, basically. A piece of paper, basically, right? Let me check if this works. Do I look better now? Is the camera better in focus and the camera looks more crisp? Yes, it does. Good. Ooh. It's not working yet. Let me fix this before I go mad because it's really bothering me. Okay, it's fixed. Let's go. Burnley went straight. Harambo also get tough to manage formation. Yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, City had about 27 something shots against Burnley. City should have scored 3 or 4. 100%. City should have scored at least 3, 4 goals. They just lucked out, to be honest. Burnley just lucked out. It wasn't more embarrassing than it should have been. Arsenal need to take charge and show City who they are and respond to what City did. They should. That's the biggest thing. Newcastle is next at Emirates. Can Arsenal respond? That is the big question. Can Arsenal respond? In theory, yes, they can. If we speak realistically, on the pitch, I have doubts. Big, massive doubts. And I'm all for Arsenal proving me wrong. Let's be real. I'm all for Arsenal proving me goddamn wrong. But looking at how we have played against City, Southampton, Bournemouth, even against Sporting Lisbon, it does not fill me with confidence at all. And let's not forget, we now have to play against Newcastle. And then midweek, we have to play against, in Metropolitano, we have to play against Atletico Madrid. That's going to be even harder than people imagine. Oh, we beat them too. We smashed them in the league stage. Yeah, so we did the same thing to PSG, and look how that went. Quite a bit of parallels, to be honest. If you look at City and Atletico Madrid, they both lost to Arsenal in the league stage. Both in January signed the left winger, ironically enough, and now they are on top of the world, winning the games. They are in Champions League semifinals, and again they both are playing Arsenal. Ironic, isn't it? Ironic. Big up AJ, hardest working man in the community. Hope you're doing well today, brother. Like the stream, people. Like the stream and subscribe. And if we win all 5 games, is that enough? That is the big question. For me personally, it should. But looking at obviously, people at the moment are looking at the fact that Burnley was the weakest team City have to play. Rest of the games, they have very tough games against top half of the table. Arsenal have games against the bottom half of the table. And top Gunners are saying Arsenal will win those games. The league is ours, pretty much. But do they actually forget the goddamn fact that for Arsenal, this bottom part of the league games are the biggest issues every single season? It doesn't matter in which time of the year we play. It doesn't matter if we play them in September, November, January, April, May. It just does not matter. Against the bottom half of the teams, we all the goddamn time struggle. And struggle quite heavily. Like, people always forget this, and it's kind of insane that over the years, people don't know better. They have not learned anything from our past mistakes, that the teams that are usually at the second part of the league are the ones that actually throw us the biggest challenges. It's very easy for Arsenal to basically mentally prepare themselves to play big games. It should be easier, and it is. Oh, the good record against the big 6, the top 6, and all this crap they push out. Yeah, because it's the top 6. How about the record against the bottom 6? Think about it that way. How about the record against the bottom 6? And then it's not looking that rosy, is it? It looks much more painful. I think Timber could help. Well, that goes without saying. I'm not confident, but if anyone coming back could make me confident, it would be Timber. True, 100% true. Timber at the back would be one of the pillars that we need to try maybe tighten our defense. The thing is, though, when was the last time Timber played? How long has he been out for? To what extent has he recovered? What type of injury? How much of a scar, mentally, physically, not even on the body, but inside the muscle, it has left on him? And let's be real, he won't be 100% instantly, even if he's fit. It's going to take 2, 3, 4 games. And by that time, the season is over. It's going to be way too goddamn late. Let's just put it that way. Big up, Kwame. Long time no see, brother, on the channel. Hope you're doing well today, bro. Hope you're doing well. Yeah. Yeah, Northside Cookathon. Yeah, it's nuts. It is nuts. Yeah, it's over. In my opinion, it is over. Can Arsenal do it on paper? Yes, they can. Can I do it in real life? I don't think so. We don't have enough cojones, as Troy Deeney used to say. And that was back, long days ago. And we still are in the same boat, ironically enough. And that's what's one of the most annoying things. One of the most annoying things. I think we need to win all games at least 2-0. Well, by 2 goals. Yeah, basically, we need to win all the games by 2 goals because you can bet your sweet ass that Man City are gonna go for the final kill. They're gonna go for the knockout punch. They're gonna try and secure every bit of table possible besides the points. Goal difference, least goals conceded, and everything. So if by some miracle both teams finish on the same points at the end of the season, they have the numerical advantage in any column of the table, because they already have the advantage on the games we have played between ourselves because we drew and we lost. So until that comes into play, they will try to push everything up. Goal difference, goals scored, less goals conceded. They're going to try to push everything to their advantage. And that's all they can do. And they don't need to do much, to be honest. Big up, Handler. Thank you for the kind words. Big up to you. Big up, Dr. Seymour Botts. Big up. How is the Colney Penitentiary going? Lots of customers, lots of clients, big deals. Play like West Aston Villa or 22-23, and then I'm fine. Yeah. Like, that is the nuts part. For these last 5 games, we should be letting the handbrake off. Play attacking football, win the games, boost the goal scoring stats and everything, just so they are in our favor. The thing is, though, Mikel Arteta is so scared of losing that he's not going to do that anymore. The 22-23 season was the prime example of how attacking football ruined Mikel Arteta. It has left such deep, and it feels like uncurable scars on his body, in the heart, in the head, everywhere, that he's not gonna change. He's afraid to experience the same embarrassment once again. So he's going to do the other end of the spectrum, which means he's going to double down defensively. He's going to try to be more controlling, more pragmatic, and he's going to try to play the safe option fully. And that is one of the worst things he can do, because throughout the course of the season, we have seen that as soon as Arsenal get defensive, they sit back, they invite the pressure, Arsenal are 10 times worse than when they attack and leave some gaps exposed. And that is definitely not a good sign. Not a good sign. Big up, Gavin. Big up, Gavin. Hope you're doing well. True, Arsenal struggles against the bottom 6 despite performance well against... Exactly. That's very ironic, but it is what it is. 22-23 season, again, copy-paste scenario against Southampton. Remember the games against Southampton? Relegated team by February, and we still couldn't get the job done against them. And it was the same this year against Wolves. Relegated a bit later on, but still they were relegated already pretty much. Nobody gave them a shot and staying up. And we still barely got the job done away at home by some weird goddamn luck where Wolves scored 3 goals and lost 2-1. And then away game, the less said and better. I remember that game quite vividly, just for the sheer fact that we went 2-0 up at halftime, and I had a 38.4 degree fever. It was 2-0 at halftime, and I thought, well, Arsenal are going to see this out, and I went to bed. Next morning, I wake up, and I see Arsenal drew 2-2. I remember that vividly to the every last bit of second, and that pain and that disappointment and anger I had once I woke up when I saw the scoreline and how it went down when I in the morning watched the replay of the game. It's indescribable. And that is one of the biggest downfalls of Arsenal in general. If we don't go for the final blow, we're done. We're absolutely done. What is stopping Arsenal from scoring 1, 2, 3 quick goals, blitz a team like we did in 22-23 season, and then afterwards in the second half or in the last 30 minutes play this crap football we played this whole season with defensive madness? What is stopping us? Well, Arteta is obviously. But at the end of the day, the perfect balance for this team is doing things quickly and blitz teams like in 22-23 season, and they just chill and relax for the second part of the game like they're doing right now. Why we are not doing that is beyond me. Because once we have the opponents on the back foot, once we have scored a goal, we sit back. We let them sell themselves. We let them calm the nerves. We let them back into the game. Then they impose our will on us, which should not happen by default, just looking at things. And then we are surprised, well, some Gunners are, that we have drawn or we have lost. And we don't have good performances. It's actually madness. Yeah, speaking about mental state, City definitely inflicted ugly damage on Arsenal. Now they defeated them twice and also went on a mad win streak where they also defeated Liverpool and Chelsea. Exactly. They are doing insane amounts. They have done everything. They have done everything perfectly. City have done everything perfectly to a T to mentally annihilate and scare Arsenal into a corner where basically it's dark, they cannot see anything, and they are scared shitless. Obviously, the most dangerous person is the person that has nothing to lose and his back is against the wall. But to even try anything at those situations, right, you kind of have to be proactive. Do something. Have some sort of a plan. And it's very evident that this team, this manager, this ownership has absolutely zero plans what to do once shit hits the fan and once something goes wrong. And they just wing it. See what happens. YOLO type of thing. And more often than not, when you go into a battle without a plan, 99.9% of the time you get crushed. And quite expeditiously, vividly, and seemingly effortlessly. And that is what's happening for Arsenal. I take 50% Timber over current 100% Ben White. Ben White is not even at 100%, by the way. Or Mosquera. Mosquera isn't bad, but Timber is just exceptional. True. But to be honest, before Timber fully went out for that month, 2 months, he also wasn't great. He was struggling, and it was very evident as well that he was playing through an injury. And we tried to talk about this on the channel, and people were calling us fake, we toxic and negative. We are making things that are not there. And look a bit further. A few weeks later, Timber is not even in the team, and now we haven't seen him for months. What it feels like. Like, the proof is in the pudding, people. The proof is in the pudding. Big up Gunnar SC. Big up Gunnar SC. The Canadian Michael Jackson thought Palace home was our next game. Well, I mean, first things first, we don't even play Palace at home in this league. If I'm not mistaken, we play Palace at Selhurst Park, don't we? Or was it City that are playing Palace at Selhurst Park? Yeah, we play Palace at Selhurst Park. We don't even play them at home. We already have played them at home. Lol. We're fully booked through end August here at Colney Renal Center. Got a queue of patients from here to Kent. Damn, that's some proper business. Proper business going on, man. Proper business. Small margins and all that, right? One small margin left to right, and well, your livelihood is over. Calafiori, party Neymar. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, guess what? We are experiencing the embarrassment again. Yeah, we are experiencing it once again. And now it's even 10 times worse. Because when Arsenal were on top, quite comfortably, let's just put it that way for lack of a better word, they were saying, oh, it's just a shit league. It's just an awful league. And Arsenal are just the best of bad bunch. And to be honest, that is true. Now, the biggest thing is, how shit has the league be? And how shit Arsenal have to be to borrow arguably one of the worst Premier Leagues in the last decade, if not longer? How bad Arsenal actually are in this part of the season that we are blowing 9-point lead and we might not win anything this season when this Premier League season is being one of the worst ones for a very long time? Answer me this. Riddle me this question. Yeah, he can barely move. Exactly. Timber can barely move. What? You didn't even see the game live? That's abuse. Dude, I much rather go to sleep with a fever of 38.4 under medicine than watch Arsenal. It was 2-0. I thought, yeah, Arsenal are not going to bottle this. And they did. And that is the end of the days. We barely could beat the top 6 this season. Exactly. Only Chelsea, relegation, Spurs. We beat them, no problem. We got scammed the win against Man U, yes, in the early stage of the season, and couldn't even compete against City and Liverpool. And Man U, yeah. Man U beat us at Emirates. Liverpool, worst Liverpool in a very long time. Everyone's scoring goals against Liverpool like for fun. Arsenal have not scored against Liverpool this season, people. One of the only teams, if not the only team this season, one of the few, if not the only one. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Arsenal have not scored a goal against Liverpool this season. This is the Liverpool that everyone's laughing at. Everyone can get points against Liverpool besides Arsenal properly. We lost and we drew. Make that make sense. Liverpool are very gettable. Same as with City, by the way. City being the season, we should have beaten them. We should have went for the knockout blow. We should have gone for them. We should have shown them who's boss at Emirates. We barely scraped a draw with Martinelli's 90-minute equalizer. We barely scraped a draw against the worst City team as well, by the way, in the last 8 to 10 years, ironically enough. Now that City have signed Lookman, holy crap, Semenyo and Gehi, they somehow look like one of the best City teams, like the best team this season has ever seen. Like, it's actually insane. Actually insane. Big up social joints. Big up social joints. Hope you're doing well. Big up, big up, big up, big up. It's not scared Arsenal. Scared Mikel. Exactly. I fully believe that if we had a different manager right now, if for one game we change the manager, let's just say for one game, hypotheticals, we put Hansi Flick or Luis Enrique at the wheel, we would see completely different football, completely different players, completely different fire in players' eyes, and it would be a pleasure to watch. Like, it would be a pleasure to watch. The nuts part is, when I watch Arsenal play, half the time, I literally spend either looking for some things I have to buy for my home, either I'm doing something with the kids on the side, or something. I'm going to be honest with you, because I watch the game, I see Gabriel passing to Rice, Rice to Zubimendi, Zubimendi to Ben White or Timber, Timber to Odegaard, Odegaard to Saka, Saka to Gabriel back and everything. I switch away for 3-4 minutes to do something, or I switch a tab because I want to buy something, or I need to check some information, or I need to find something for work. I switch back. And I still see Zubimendi passing to Odegaard, Odegaard to Rice, Rice to Saka, Saka to Timber, Timber to Gabriel. Like 5 minutes have passed in the game, yet somehow I'm still seeing a deja vu. Like, it's the same passing, same parents, same players, nothing is changing. Berta should tell the board that Arteta isn't good enough and we want change. Exactly. Berta should. Maybe he has already. Who knows, to be honest. Nobody's going to open that information to us, let's be real. But maybe he has already. Oh, Keon, man. Keon. Who is even 60% fit in this team? David Raya, maybe? Maybe. Which players would you keep and who would you get rid of? Oh, we could do a stream about this. We definitely could do a stream once the season is finished, Champions League, Premier League. We could do a separate stream of Arsenal keep, loan, and sell. You would want to do that? Would you be here for that? Like, the season ends in a month. Well, month and a half. Let's just put it for lack of a better word. We could do a stream of Arsenal keep, loan, and sell. 100%. We did it last year. It was quite brutal. We did it 2 years ago, and it was also quite brutal. So we definitely can do it this year as well. Without shadow of a doubt, we can do it this year as well. Arsenal keep, loan, and sell. Well, the takes, don't make us look very good, do they? You know something, Kwame? You are a disgrace. You're toxic. You're negative. You're a plastic fan. Go support Spurs down the lane. That's what I get told, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie, I get told that quite a bit. Like, it's insane. Nobody in this team is 100% fit, but ones who are will get the meal. Yeah, exactly. And there's someone who is 100% fit, sooner or later is not gonna be fit anymore. And that's the nuts part. Yeah, same Wolves team that struggled to score and beat in attacking football. They're relegated now. Yeah, big up animal shorts. Big up. We definitely drawing versus Newcastle. The pressure will be double as now City are ahead. Yeah, the pressure is bigger than it ever has been. To be honest, we are second in the league, and based on this game, everything depends upon to a very high degree. Let's be real, because the worst thing that can happen in this game is Arsenal draw or a loss. Well, basically, pick your poison. Basically, if Arsenal don't win, it's gonna be end of days because City don't play this weekend. Manchester City do not play this weekend. And if Arsenal draw or lose, City will have game in hand and we will not have pulled away from them. City needs to win the next game. They are points clear. And that 100% at that stage will be all she wrote. If right now there's a tiny bit of whatever chance that something can still go in favor of Arsenal, if that happens, if Arsenal draw or lose to Newcastle on the weekend, you can literally kiss the league goodbye. And the worst part is, if we lose to Newcastle or draw even to Newcastle, right? We have to go play Atleti afterwards during the week at Metropolitano. And that is gonna be a nightmare and a half. Let's be honest. Yeah, it was over and we lost to Bournemouth. Everything is falling apart. The wheels are coming off at a very rapid pace, and they have all fallen off already. I predict 1-1 at home with Newcastle on Saturday. Yeah, I can see that. We haven't scored 2 goals in a game since March, by the way. That is also a fact. We haven't scored 2 goals in a game since March. And that is another big worry. Who did we score 2 goals against? Let me check this quickly while I'm here. Last game we scored 2 goals was in Champions League when we beat 2-0 Leverkusen in March 17th. But in Premier League when we beat Everton 2-0 at home. That was March 14th. March 14th, so it was more than a month ago, was the last time when Arsenal scored 2 goals in a game. Since then, it has been 1 or nothing at all. And Brentford game, the Forest, yeah, it goes on and on and on. There's endless examples, just like in 22-23 season as well, just like in 23-24 season. Countless games against teams that most of the time are at the bottom half of the table. Obviously, this year, Brentford are fighting for Europe to a degree. Liverpool as well. Arsenal really has no option but to risk it all now that they has the same goal difference and the points as City and are also only 5 games left. These defensive strategic tactics are not working. Yeah. But think about it also this way. For 50-odd games this season, you have played this defensive haram tactic style. Do you think it is easy like this to switch out of that type of mentality, that type of system to go full out attack? It's very hard to do it mid-game when Arsenal sit back and they need to start to attack. We struggle at that. And now imagine just do it for 5 games. Do you think Arsenal have the mental strength to just break that glass ceiling? They have that glass box. They have boxed themselves in physically and mentally, and thanks to Mikel Arteta of the defense, and to push out into attack. It's not that easy. And I can speak that from experience, to be honest. There have been times when manager has told me to play for a draw, and I have tried to do it. And then when I have to, basically, he says, this is not working, let's go in the attack. The mental aspect, like going mentally into attack, pushing yourself, you're just out of it. You're not fully focused on the attack. You're still partially sitting in that defensive mindset. And you overlook things, you overthink certain parts of the game, certain situations. You are half a second slower to making decisions. And those small margins, guys, is all that makes all the difference sometimes during the games. I'm looking forward to it. To be honest, I cannot wait as well, because last year it was absolutely brutal. I think we sold about 14 to 16 players. We kept 5 or 6, and we loaned out about 4 or 5 as well. It was very brutal. Big up. Hit the likes, people. Exactly. Hit the likes. Keep, sell, loan, and terminate contract. To be honest, by the time we are having this stream, keep, sell, loan, Arteta might not be at the job if things don't go his way. Yeah, it's sideways, backwards, everything should have kept on any if you want to play like that. And by the way, subscribe to Dr. Seymour Butts. Subscribe to Dr. Seymour. I would only keep Raya, Timba, Saliba, Gabriel, Hincapié, Victor, Rice, Mosquera, Skelly, Eze, Ethan, and Max. The rest can go. Not gonna lie. Kinda agree with that. I'm gonna be honest with you. I kind of very strongly agree with that. The most insane part is, in all of this, today I went on social media. Yeah, I went on social media. That alone is a very big risk these days. And I saw that Real Madrid and PSG are exploring options to sign Gabriel Magalhães. Are you surprised, by the way, that this is becoming a thing? I'm surprised that there are not more big clubs in for certain our players. Well, the big ones, obviously. But the fact that already there are talks that Real Madrid might be going for Gabriel, that PSG might be going for Gabriel, is a worry. Because if I'm not... Wait, let me check. Gabriel Magalhães' contract is till 2029, so 3 years. Gonna be interesting. However, 3 years, it's not that much, is it? And Saliba's contract is till 2030, so that also is not too bad for somebody try and get them. So definitely, the teams are gonna be on the lookout for Arsenal players, and that is a big worry, very big worry. Wait, misclick. 100% facts. I also would also been that Timo Keller Navas David Raya. To be honest, David Raya for me is one of those enigmas. Let's be like that in goal, because even though he makes world-class saves many times, people call them saves with the camera at times, let's be real, he also causes quite a bit of those situations himself, or together with the wrong passing out of the goal, playing it short, not kicking it long, or something like that. So he kind of has to fix his own mess, so to speak. Fair play, fair dues. He actually fixes it many times. But the fact is, the luck is going to run out at some point. And you cannot fix everything that you are breaking. I just put it that way. I would trade Raya for Oblak in a heartbeat. How old is Oblak? 33 years old. Well, why not? That's not too bad. Could take him, definitely. Big up, Gary. Big up, Gary. Don't waste the trip. Big up, big up, big up, big up, people. Go subscribe to Gary as well. Arsenal fan, does regular streams as well with the panel. Shows people. Go show him some love. They can't break that box. They play now they are coach. Exactly. They play how they're coach. Exactly. They don't train attacking football. They can't turn on something they don't have. Exactly. You cannot turn on something if you have not trained for it. He will double on his system and fail. Yeah. I think Arteta will double down defensively. I think it's gonna come down to that to a degree. We're gonna persist with our style, because one thing that is very glaring, staring straight in many people's faces, and many Arsenal fans don't want to admit it if they see it, or they don't see it. There's another option of that, is that Arteta wants to win his way. It's Arteta way or the highway. And unfortunately, we all know how that story goes, people. We all know how that story goes. Here is Gary's link, people. Go subscribe. Show him some love. Big up, big up, big up, big up. I'm keeping the guys that was 9 points clear. When his favorites came back, we lost games left. Yeah, and we call this as well. As soon as the players like Havertz, Odegaard, players like that are going to come back, Arteta will forcefully, artificially, so to speak, force them into the team, we're going to start dropping points and losing games. People called us stupid when we said that. People said Odegaard is going to save our season. Havertz is the right person we need to save our season. And now look at where we are. The same favorites everyone begged to come back are the ones that are one of the biggest reasons why we are losing everything right now. It has come, to be honest, to a point where people are saying we want Mikel Merino back. And to be honest, I'm going to be honest to you people, and you might not like this. I want Mikel Merino back as well. But not for midfield, for the attack. I much rather have a Gyökeres and or Merino number 9 partnership, or one of them in the number 9, than Kai Havertz. Seriously. Somehow Merino, who never has played striker role in his life until he came to Arsenal, is doing better at striker than Havertz and quite a few people in those type of situations. The semi is done. Atletico Madrid can play it. Yeah, exactly. Atletico Madrid can play very good attacking football. Diego Simeone has proven that he can adapt. He can change. He can improve. He can definitely be... You know how they say you cannot teach old dogs new tricks? Diego Simeone is basically diminishing that myth, because he is definitely learning new tricks, and he definitely is changing and improving. Most teams has found us out. Pep exposed us in the EFL final. Yeah. To be honest, every single season, it comes to a point where a certain team exposes us. And people then start to play that way, and we start to slowly but steadily crumble. And it happens every season. In 22-23 season, for me, it was Newcastle at home, when in the first 15 minutes, Eddie Howe decided to go toe-to-toe with Arsenal. We missed about 4 or 5 chances to go 1-0 up at least. And Eddie Howe said, well, I'm out of here. And he basically played a 5-man midfield. He turned it to 4-5-1, which transformed into 5-4-1. And Arsenal did nothing. Afterwards, the next season, it was Porto in Champions League. And everything, like, there's always that one game where a certain team does something that basically starts to undo the thread. Like Sunderland did when we played 2-2. Remember when we played Sunderland and we drew 2-2 at the Stadium of Light? I put out a TikTok and a YouTube short saying that Sunderland showed the blueprint how to rally Arsenal and how to basically get result against Arsenal. And people say, oh, they didn't show anything. They just got lucky. It was very unfortunate that Arsenal lost. But if you look after that game, slowly but steadily, more teams started to play something similar what Sunderland did. Then you start to see other teams trying to improve on that, trying to basically evolve that type of tactics. And now we are right here where we are. We want to get a 4-0 first leg against Atletico Madrid. I don't think so. It's going to be 4-0, but I think Atleti are going to steamroll us to a degree. Sesk is linked with us. I'd say him youth will play attacking, but again, not another rookie project. Exactly. This is the biggest issue here. That is one of the biggest issues here, because Arsenal don't strike me as a club unless Andrea Berta changes some year-long narratives at Arsenal that are gonna go for the big guy. They usually go for the one that is underrated or somewhat good and flying a bit under the radar in hopes that they basically find gold, like diamond in the rough, like they did with Wenger. Kind of they tried it with Emery, and now they're doing that with Arteta. So signing Cesc Fabregas would be kind of the same situation, wouldn't it? At striker, no. Merino and Gyökeres would link up better if the manager allows them to attack more. Yeah, exactly. Merino is bad in the midfield. For me personally, in Premier League, Merino is bad. In general, Merino for Arsenal's midfield is bad. In the number 9, somehow he's much better. And I would not be against him playing a number 9 position over Havertz if push comes to shove. If I have to choose, who to sub on at striker at certain stage of the game. Is it Havertz or is it Merino? I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of wanting to. I'm kind of swaying towards Mikel Merino. Gonna be honest with you. At striker, not in midfield. By the way, people, just off topic a tiny bit. I uploaded today a YouTube short and a TikTok. If you haven't, after the stream, please go and check it out. Please go and check it out. Yeah, it feels like Arteta since that 22-23 season hates attacking football. Hence why I also would not be surprised that if this manager stays at the job, somehow by some goddamn miracle, he stays at the job for the next season, we won't be able to sign any elite players. Not that we sign any elite players anyways, but many attackers just easily will say no to Arsenal. Because at the moment, if I'm an attacker, left winger, right winger, number 9, I don't see any benefits coming to Arsenal whilst Mikel Arteta is here for my career. Besides PR, maybe a nice payday. I don't see any benefits because this team is not attacking. It is absolutely destroying attackers. Yeah, he said that, yeah. Exactly. Arsenal won't sign a big manager. They're not available. Bring me Glasner. They are available. Arsenal are not. They are just not going to pay. That is the other thing. They have to, first things first, they need the manager's acceptance to come. If manager agrees, they need to buy out the contract of the manager they want to sign. They're never going to do that, especially if they have to pay out Arteta as well. Yeah, and that is one of my biggest worries. Atletico actually could do one big one over us. I want Enrique as well. I would love to have Enrique, Hansi Flick, even Antonio Conte to a degree. I wouldn't mind having Alvarez, Lookman, add Griezmann to the equation as well. There is Simeone's son too. Add them to the equation. I wanted Osimhen instead of Gyökeres. Yes, you did. Fair dues to you. I wanted Gyökeres because I had a naive hope. Yes, it was naive looking in hindsight right now, but obviously hindsight is a beautiful thing, so to speak. But I had hope that with Gyökeres coming to Arsenal, right, Arteta would change back even for about 15-20% to the style of football we played in 22-23 season. Because this style of football we played last year and are playing right now does not fit a Gyökeres type of striker whatsoever in any way, shape, and form. And unfortunately, and he didn't. That was very naive from my side. Yeah, we will be in massive trouble if Arteta stays. And you all know, people, if Arteta stays, this is going to be an NBA channel. There's going to be Arsenal on the side maybe once a week. But overall, this is going to be an NBA channel. We never gave Emery time, unfortunately. Yeah, no time, no money. Didn't give him the players he deserved. Because if Emery had the same backing and same support from the owners, financially and, well, emotionally, and also from the fan base, no problem. Let's be real, there would be no problem. The biggest thing is, where has Arteta gone 21-22 games unbeaten? Especially when you have players like Mustafi and David Luiz at the back. Kolasinac at the back. Arteta could never do that. Emery could. Don't blame. Yeah, he's not blaming Gyökeres. Big up Godfrey. Big up Godfrey. I'm doing fine. Hope you're doing well too, my guy. He would get PR support as a Nexus play. Yeah, he would. But ironically enough, Cesc is a bigger Chelsea legend kind than Arsenal's, isn't he? Dude, we could have prime Messi, prime R9, Ronaldinho, who Arteta has played with, by the way, and he still does not know crap about proper attacking football and proper attackers and technique and dribbling and all this stuff, by the way, and everything, and he still would play haram ball. Exactly. Atletico are not that good. We can beat them, but we are also bad at attacking. Yeah, Atletico are not great. They can be gotten at 100%. But comparing Arsenal to Atleti, what maybe Arsenal are better a tiny bit defensively compared to Atleti. But if we look attack-wise, Atleti are gonna annihilate us in that game. Atletico Madrid under Simeone play very, very beautiful and very, very sharp, direct counter-attacking football. With Lookman, with Julian Alvarez, with players like that on the counter. It is scary hours. And let's be real, Arsenal could have signed Lookman as well. Like, there were chances and possibilities. Saying that, we couldn't even beat Southampton and Bournemouth, so what are we talking about here? Even Wolves we couldn't beat. Yeah, exactly. There's a very little hope. Very, very little hope. It's Cunha, Buemo, Dorgo all over again. Lookman Alvarez, Sorloth as well. Sorloth, 29 million or 28 million euros, something like that. He went from Villarreal to Atletico Madrid. Why we didn't get Sorloth for all the corners and set pieces and all this crap? Sorloth would be fantastic. Big up Ozzy Ange, big up. Julian, freaking hell. Julian and Christian from ATV came out on Monday to say Arsenal must do a UCL runners-up parade. You know, as they say, some people are beyond saving. Yeah, AFTV does not make sense. Absolutely. 1 to 10, how close to his sacking? Me, I'm about 200 personally. Overall speaking, if I go from a neutral points perspective, 9.5 out of 10. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Plus they can't actually yeah, and they are nuts, to be honest. If he stays, will Top Gunners turn on him? I think the Top Gunners that are at this stage on the fence of Arteta in, Arteta out, kind of starting to raise some concerns and massive questions, they gonna quite sooner or later turn into Arteta out. There's gonna be a massive shift in the tides if Arteta stays and many Top Gunners are Arteta out, start to become Arteta out. Because remember, we used to be a minority who wanted Arteta out a few seasons ago. They were like, what, 5-6%? Right now, it has increased multiple times. And the ones that are sitting on the fence, slowly but steadily, are leaning towards more Arteta out than Arteta in. So it could become very, very ugly. Very ugly and really quickly. So Atletico Madrid attackers can score. Yeah, exactly. He learned from Moyes. Yeah. How can you basically play with player like Ronaldinho, for example, right? How can you be coached by Pep, work with Pep, right? And all these things, you have been coached by Wenger and coached by Moyes, and you take the stuff from, well, Moyes. Like, it doesn't add up. It doesn't add up. That's like literally somebody giving me a choice of, you want 10 grand, 50 grand, or 30 grand, or you want a piece of cheese, and you pick the piece of cheese instead of money. Like, what? That it's actually kind of insane if you come to think of it. Should Arsenal lose to Newcastle on Saturday, then the deflection excuses from their... Or, like, to be honest, if we lose on Saturday, what type of excuses they can even find? Because we won't be on top of the table. We won't be points clear. We're going to be behind on points. We're going to be on the same points, but the City will have an extra game in hand once again. And they just need a draw to overtake us on points and that will be all she wrote. Like there cannot be any excuses. There should not be any excuses for the last few seasons, but somehow they find the excuses. It's like basically they trying to squeeze water out of a rock to finding these excuses. It will increase. Yeah, excuses will increase, definitely. They will find a way. They will find a way to get some excuses, definitely. Big up, Kwame. Have a nice evening. Have a nice night. Have a good sleep and have a great day tomorrow. Thank you for dropping by. And yeah, people, by the way, if you haven't already, smash the likes. Smash them. Subscribe if you're new. And let me know your thoughts in the chat. Let me know in the chat what you think. I'm just checking social media at the moment if there is anything new. I wish I didn't check social media. I wish I didn't check social media. Ian Wright. If Arsenal win the Premier League, Declan Rice has to win the Premier League Player of the Year. And if Arsenal win the Champions League, Rice should also win the Ballon d'Or. Like, sometimes, do people even listen to themselves when they speak? Seriously, serious talk. Do people sometimes even listen when they goddamn speak? Where does this make any sense? Where does this make any sense? Bear in mind, for the Newcastle match, our players will have their... Yeah, that also could be the case. We need to focus on two fronts. We need to share everything. Rush back again. Yeah, who'd have thought? Big up, Christopher. Big up, Christopher. Play Max Dauman. Yeah, play him. Like, Saka is not fit. He's not ready. He's rushed back, most likely. Well, not most likely, most definitely. Madueke, well, there's a reason he gets called sometimes Maduki. And that's about it for the right wing. So Max Dauman, like, he cannot do worse than what we already have. Let's be real. He can only go upwards. Big up elbow. Big up elbow. Just till the Newcastle will probably beat us. They are somehow our weakness. Yeah, Newcastle and Eddie Howe know how to do things, how to play against Arsenal. They have the perfect plan. Even though they won't have Gordon, because he pretty much is officially out and everything, still, he knows how to play. Look at their responses to that Ian Wrong. Wait, let's check this. Let's check this, since Hendon is saying check the responses. This is the problem we have. People in the media say shit like this, and then people start to believe it without watching Rice. Someone please stop. Could have done with him putting a Player of the Year Ballon d'Or level performance in their two recent games against City was found wanting on both occasions when up against Roger and Bernardo. Yeah. Thierry Henry didn't win the Ballon d'Or, and you expect Rice to win without even playing great. Exactly. To be honest, Thierry Henry was robbed of a Ballon d'Or. That's a bit different story, and we're not going to get into that one today because that's another topic for about 60-year discussion, right? But ultimately, Declan Rice for Ballon d'Or, what is this nonsense? Has Declan Rice been Ballon d'Or level this season? No chance in hell. No chance in hell, in my opinion. Ian Wright, yeah, exactly. Too many ex-Arsenal players being brown envelopes. Sick of it, exactly. Brown envelopes galore. Wish I could get one brown envelope at times. He took Moyes football because it's easiest to coach. Yeah, it's easier to coach. Running, dueling, set pieces, actually technical pass and move football is harder to coach. That's why the Premier League is full duels. Yeah, it's all of athletes, big, large men, basically, most of the time. And they just rub against each other and sometimes fall to the ground. Chelsea sacked the manager after 3 months of underachieving. Why Arteta has 6.5? We finished second. What do you mean? Why are you so toxic and negative? We finished second 3 times in a row. We got to the final of Carabao Cup, semi-finals of the Champions League, and we have a dog. What's not to love about Arsenal? Rosinho got sacked with a 6-year contract. Why Nah, that's the biggest thing. Why? Let's be real. Now, give me a second. I'm checking something. I'm just trying to check something. Look at this. Look at this. How comes a club like this has potentially bigger standards than Arsenal? Sunderland could sack French manager Lebris at the end of the season if he fails to secure European football for the club. The club's ambitious ownership, led by Dreyfus and Juan Sartori, have not ruled out considering alternatives to Lebris. Despite sitting in 11th, they are just 4 points off the top 6. A team that just got promoted into Premier League, and their main job was not to basically get relegated and stay in the Premier League, are about to sack their manager because he showed that he can get to European spots potentially, and that they have seen it, they want them. The more you eat, the more the appetite grows, obviously. And now that the Lebris actually showed to the owners that he actually can be somewhat competitive with the big teams, he can get results and potentially even get Europe, they want that. Let's be real. It's actually insane. If we don't win the Prem, I be top Gunners will say Prem is washed. But they cannot say that, can they? Because if Prem is washed, how washed is Arsenal if we balled 9-point league in a washed league and we lost it? Even Chelsea owners showing more standards. Yeah, Christian has already said there's bigger things than football when his parents was playing badminton in the garden. No, that's he took the money giving false opinion. Apparently that's Sunderland news. Apparently, yeah, but I would not be surprised if it's true. To be honest, looking at how teams are moving, no way Sunderland moving like that. I would not be surprised. I'd have Libri at Arsenal. Here we go. It's starting. But even Sunderland showing more standards. Exactly. And that's the nuts part in this. Yeah. Like, if we are looking from that perspective, Sunderland is actually a big club. It's just unfortunate how the years have gone by them and everything. How they have managed and mismanaged certain things. Let's just put it that way, unfortunately. That is the only drawback to all of this. Because if they were managed properly, if everything was going according to the plan and all this stuff, that actually would not be such a big of an issue. But money issues, wrong decisions, media scandals and everything, definitely it is not looking too great from that point of view, so to speak. So we'll see. We will absolutely see. But yeah. City will be one league title behind Arsenal when they win the Premier League. They won 9 league titles since 2012. If I'm not mistaken, and if this fact is true, it's actually insane. If City win the domestic treble, the FA Cup and the Premier League, they're gonna overtake Arsenal and become technically the third biggest club in England. We won't even be the third anymore, or something like that. There are some stats about it circulating, just haven't looked into them to see how true they are or not. I'm very sorry about that yet. But people, on that note, I'm gonna end today's stream. If you haven't already, smash the like, subscribe if you're new, of course. Also, go check out my YouTube short I uploaded today just before I went live. And I'm gonna redirect you to Shane Gunner's stream. Big up to everyone. See you all tomorrow with the Newcastle preview and some other bits and bobs. But for today, I am out. Take care, stay safe, and see you soon. Peace.